Buying a brand new construction home is the way to go in my opinion, especially if you're planning on moving here to Orlando, Florida. Hey everyone, my name is Joel. I'm a local real estate agent here in Orlando, and in this video I'm going over 5 tips when you're buying a home here in Orlando, Florida. Let's go ahead and hop right into tip number 1. So as I already mentioned, I think that buying a brand new construction home is simply the way, especially if you're relocating. Depending on what your time frame is looking like, a new construction home might really work out very well. For example, if you're going fully custom, it could take easily 6 to 9 months to build your home and have it fully made and move-in ready. So if you're pretty far out from moving here, that might be a great way to start things going. Find the home that you need, get it constructed, and that'll give you all the time that you need to either sell your home or get ready to move down here. A lot of these builders also have these spec homes or these move-in ready homes that are pretty much ready to go. They can be ready anywhere from 30, 45 days to 3 months. So if you have a much shorter window, these might be a great option. And the cool thing is that for a lot of those spec homes, they typically are pretty negotiable and even have some deals going on just because they want to make sure they get them off their balance sheet. Now, aside from that, another great reason why new construction homes are great is because they come with these great warranties. Typically there's 10-year structural warranty. They have a year on any cosmetic defects that you find because of course, things are gonna happen that first year that you have your home. You're gonna find different things that maybe weren't fully finished or taken care of right away. Another thing they have typically is around 2 years for electrical. Appliances are normally warranted separately, but it's just like if you bought it from the store, they can have like a 5-year warranty that you have directly with the company. At the end of the day, the whole point of that is the fact that you have some kind of protection with your home for the first few years that you live in it. And if you're relocating to the area, it's gonna take you time already to adjust living here. The fact that you don't have to worry about your home as much because you have these warranties that protect you and kind of safeguard against some of these things that could come up later on, it's kind of nice to have that peace of mind so you can focus instead on starting your new life here in Orlando. Now, tip number 2, it's very important, and I know what everyone's gonna say, it's super self-serving, but don't show up to these new construction builders without an agent. Here's the reality. A lot of these new construction builders, they have their own set of rules that they have to follow. And typically, if you show up without an agent or not represented, they won't really let you get one for representation. And here's the kicker. The truth is that you don't get any advantages for not having an agent. They don't give you extra money, extra incentives. None of that happens at all. Instead, they take all those funds that they would use to pay your agent and your representation, and they put it into their marketing budget to get a whole nother buyer. The truth is, when you show up without an agent, you are funding their marketing budget so they can sell more homes to other people. No real advantage to you. So I do recommend highly, try to show up with an agent. And if you don't have one, hey, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I would love to help you out with that whole process. Here's the thing, when it comes to being represented, it's nice to have a second set of eyes, professional eyes that are used to looking at these contracts to really help you better explain and help you understand what's going on throughout the build process. And here's the thing, unless you're buying new construction homes every year, every month, anything like that, you're not gonna know certain things that are going on, and you simply might not know to ask for something. For example, I had a client not too long ago, we just simply asked for them to open up a lot that was not available, and we got it. They had no idea we could do that. But with an agent that is experienced and used to working with builders, they know that when there is some kind of wiggle room to get certain things done. Another example is just simply talking down the price on a lot. One time I just went in and asked, hey, my client really would prefer living on this lot, but going X amount of dollars over is gonna put them outside their budget and they may go somewhere else. They simply just said, hey, no problem, let me talk to my manager. They got the price down, we were able to go under contract. So see, there are a lot of little things that you can get. Maybe you might not make a huge difference if you don't know about them, but again, when you do have some kind of representation, someone that can help you on this stressful journey of relocating and buying a home in the area, it does make it a little bit easier, and there are a lot of nice things that can come along with it too, again, that could have some kind of financial impact. Now, tip number 3 for buying a home here in Orlando, Florida, shifts gears a little bit away from buying new construction and focuses on buying a resale property. Why? right? Because guess what? There are gonna be some areas that you may end up loving that don't have any new construction options. And if that's true, then a resell is the way to go. Now, a couple tips for that. I mean, here's the thing going on in the market now. I know a lot of people are worried about interest rates and the prices and all that stuff. You know what? I mean, a great thing that is happening right now is that there are opportunities to negotiate some things into the contract that just simply weren't there before. Most notably, being able to get some funds from the seller to bring down that interest rate. This is a real option that you can get. You can get maybe one whole percentage down and not have to worry about refinancing later, not have to worry about having to deal with any of that stuff for a long time. So if you're gonna ask for anything, instead of asking for a price cut, what I really do recommend is try to find a way to get some funds back at closing. And there are definitely a few different creative ways. It's just gonna come down to the specific property and really what your whole overall goal is. Just something to think about with those resale properties, which is why I kind of really encourage the new construction. It's a little bit easier to manage those kind of situations when the truth is a lot of the new construction builders, they're not very emotional about the whole process. They have a lot more freedom when it comes to their time frame for selling the home versus someone who needs to move out of their home and sell quickly. Tip number 4 is check the schools. You definitely want to do some kind of research when it comes to the schools, because at the end of the day, the schools have a massive impact when it comes to resale value on your home. Now, of course, you know, I don't like to get into resale, but I always like to leave my clients strategically placed in case they ever do need to sell in the future. So that is one thing I would recommend, whether you have kids or you're beyond those years, or you even don't plan on having kids at all, you're just happy with your dogs, your cats, whatever it is. You know, you want to make sure that you do have some kind of decent schools around you. Now, if you do have kids and you're very worried about the schools, I have a whole nother video, I'll link down below, that you can watch. It walks you step by step through researching the schools, how to make sure that you're in the right zoning for that particular school. That way you don't end up buying in the wrong area and accidentally have to have your kid go to another school. And finally, tip number 5, which I think is pretty straightforward and makes the most sense out of all of them, is do your research and do it early. You want to make sure that you really understand the area that you're looking to move into in Orlando. I mean, it has so many different places. It really, really is fairly diverse when it comes to its different offerings as far as communities go, as far as houses goes. I mean, we have townhomes, condos, single family homes. We have areas that are a little bit more historic, a little bit more vintage, areas that are fairly new. And then you also have your well-established areas that have been around for quite some time. You want to make sure that you really sit down and even think inward to yourself. What are the things that are most important for you? I mean, is it important for you to be near retail, to be near certain doctors' offices, I mean, to be near work, near the airport? What are the things that matter to you the most? Do you want to be right in the middle of everything and you don't mind the traffic, or would you prefer being a little bit further from things and not have to deal with so much congestion? Those are the hard questions that you really do have to answer before you can really start that research. That way, when you go in looking for an area to live in, you have an idea of what you're looking for and can easily start crossing the ones that don't make any sense for you and your family off, and start putting a short list together that makes sense for you. Now, in order to help you with that process, I have this video playlist right here that you can watch, cover some areas here in Orlando that are very popular and could be a good fit for you. Thanks so much for watching.